If you're over 60 and you do this one thing every single morning without thinking, you could be putting your heart in serious danger. And I'm not talking about skipping breakfast or drinking coffee. This is something most people think is completely harmless. In fact, you've probably done it already today. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. This simple morning habit can thicken your blood, slow your circulation, and dramatically increase your risk of a heart attack or stroke within hours. I know that sounds scary, and honestly, it should. Because when I learned about this from a cardiovascular specialist after my own father had a close call, I couldn't believe how many people over 60 are doing this every single day without realizing the danger. The worst part? It feels so normal, so routine. You might even think you're doing the right thing, but your body, especially after 60, doesn't handle mornings the way it used to. Your blood is already thicker when you wake up. Your circulation is slower. Your heart is working harder than you realize. And when you add this one mistake on top of that, you're creating the perfect storm for a cardiac event. I'm going to walk you through exactly what this is, why it's so dangerous after 60, and most importantly, what you need to do instead to protect your heart starting tomorrow morning. So please stay with me, because what I'm about to share could genuinely save your life or the life of someone you love. Let me explain what's really happening inside your body first thing in the morning, because once you understand this, everything else will make perfect sense. When you wake up after a full night's sleep, your body is in a very specific state. You've been lying down for 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. You haven't had any water, you haven't moved much, and during all that time, your blood has naturally become thicker and more concentrated. This isn't a disease, it's just what happens to everyone. But here's the critical difference after 60. Your blood vessels aren't as flexible as they used to be. Your circulation isn't as strong, and your body takes longer to get everything flowing smoothly again. That's why the first 2 hours after you wake up are statistically the most dangerous time of day for heart attacks and strokes in people over 60. Doctors have known this for years. The research is absolutely clear. More cardiac events happen between 6 and 10 in the morning than any other time. And it's not a coincidence. Now, here's where the mistake comes in. What do most people do the moment they get out of bed? They rush, they jump right into their day. Maybe you get up and immediately start moving around, making coffee, checking your phone, heading to the bathroom, getting dressed, maybe even doing a little tidying up. It all feels productive. It feels normal, but your heart is not ready for that. Not yet. Because when you go from lying flat to standing up quickly, and then you start moving around without giving your body time to adjust, your blood pressure spikes, your heart rate jumps, and remember, your blood is already thick and sluggish from the night. So now you're asking your heart to pump harder, faster, through blood that's moving like cold syrup instead of flowing smoothly. That's stress. Real physical stress on your cardiovascular system. And if you're over 60, that stress can be enough to trigger a clot, a blockage, or even a full cardiac event. But it gets worse. Because most people over 60 also make a second mistake right after waking up. They skip water. They go straight for the coffee. Now, I'm not saying coffee is bad, but when it's the very first thing you put in your body after 8 hours of dehydration, you're making that blood even thicker. Caffeine is a diuretic. It pulls water out of your system, it raises your heart rate even more, and it tightens your blood vessels. So now you've got thick blood, a racing heart, and narrower pathways for that blood to move through. Do you see how dangerous this combination is? Your body is basically in crisis mode, and you don't even feel it. You just think you're starting your day. I want you to picture your blood vessels like garden hoses. When you're younger, those hoses are soft and flexible. Water flows through them easily, even if it's a little thick. But after 60, those hoses get stiffer. They get narrower. And if you try to push thick, cold water through a stiff, narrow hose too fast, something's going to give. That's exactly what's happening inside your arteries every single morning if you're making this mistake. And the tragedy is, most people have no idea. They feel fine, they think they're healthy, until one morning they're not. One morning that pressure is just a little too much. That clot forms in just the wrong place. And everything changes in an instant. So what I'm about to tell you next is going to seem incredibly simple. Almost too simple. but I promise you it's one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your heart, especially in those critical morning hours. This isn't about expensive supplements or complicated routines. It's about understanding what your body needs after 60 and giving it the gentlest, safest start to the day possible. Here's what you need to do instead, and I want you to really listen because this is where everything changes. The moment you wake up, before you even sit up in bed, I want you to take 3 slow, deep breaths. Not rushed, not shallow, deep breaths that fill your lungs completely. This does something incredibly important. It signals to your heart that you're waking up gently. It starts moving oxygen through your system gradually instead of shocking it awake. Then, and this is critical, you sit up slowly. I mean really slowly. Take at least 5 to 10 seconds to move from lying down to sitting on the edge of your bed. Let your feet touch the floor and just sit there for a moment. 30 seconds, a full minute if you can. I know this sounds almost too easy, but you're giving your cardiovascular system time to adjust to gravity. You're letting your blood pressure normalize. You're not forcing your heart to do all that work in one sudden burst. Now, here's the part that most people get wrong, and this is exactly what that cardiologist told me was causing so many preventable heart attacks. The next thing you do before the coffee, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, you drink water. Not a sip, a full glass. Room temperature is actually better than ice cold because cold water can shock your system, but you need to rehydrate your blood immediately. Think about it. You've just gone 8 hours without any fluid. Your blood is at its thickest point of the entire day. One glass of water starts thinning it out right away. It helps everything flow more smoothly. It takes the pressure off your heart. And it can literally be the difference between a normal morning and a medical emergency. I know some of you are thinking, but I don't feel thirsty in the morning. I get it. A lot of people over 60 lose that thirst signal. Your body stops telling you it needs water the way it used to. But that doesn't mean you don't need it. In fact, you need it more than ever. So you have to make it a rule, not a feeling. Water first, every single morning, no exceptions. Keep a glass on your nightstand if you have to. Make it part of your routine like brushing your teeth. Because this one simple habit can reduce your risk of a morning heart attack or stroke by a significant amount. The research backs this up completely. Now let's talk about what happens after that first glass of water, because the next hour is still critical. You've hydrated, you've given your body a gentle wake-up, but now you need to get your circulation moving without putting strain on your heart. And the best way to do that is with gentle movement. Not exercised, not a workout, just movement. Maybe you walk slowly to the kitchen. Maybe you do some very light stretching while you're still in your bedroom. Rolling your ankles, rotating your shoulders, bending your knees a few times, nothing intense. You're just telling your body, we're waking up now, let's get the blood flowing to all the places it needs to go. This is especially important for your legs because that's where blood tends to pool overnight. A little movement helps push it back up toward your heart and brain, where you need it most. And here's something else that might surprise you. If you take any blood pressure medication or heart medication, the timing of when you take it in the morning matters more than most people realize. A lot of folks wake up and immediately take their pills on an empty stomach, with barely any water. But if you follow this routine, drink that full glass of water first, sit for a moment, do a little gentle movement, and then take your medication with another small glass of water, it actually works better. Your body absorbs it more effectively. Your blood pressure doesn't spike as high. Everything just works the way it's supposed to. I'm not telling you to change when you take your medication without talking to your doctor. But I am saying the way you prepare your body in those first few minutes can make your medication work for you instead of against you. Now about that coffee, I'm not going to tell you to give it up, but here's the smart way to do it. Wait at least 20 to 30 minutes after you wake up. Drink your water first. Let your body stabilize. Let your blood thin out a little. Let your circulation get going. Then have your coffee. You'll actually enjoy it more. You'll feel better. And most importantly, you won't be putting that extra strain on your heart when it's already at its most vulnerable. Some people tell me they feel like they can't function without coffee first thing. But once they try this routine for even 3 or 4 days, they realize they actually have more energy, not less. because they're working with their body instead of forcing it to keep up. There's one more thing I need to tell you about those morning hours, and this one might actually save your life if you're someone who likes to exercise in the morning. If you're over 60, early morning is the absolute worst time to do any kind of intense physical activity. I'm talking about jogging, fast walking, heavy yard work, anything that gets your heart rate way up. Remember, your blood is thick, your vessels are stiff, and your heart is already under more stress than it will be later in the day. So, if you love your morning walks, that's wonderful, but keep them gentle and slow for at least the first hour after waking up. And please make sure you've had that water first. If you want to do something more intense, wait until mid morning or afternoon when your body is fully awake and your circulation is flowing properly. That small timing shift can make all the difference. Here's the twist that surprises a lot of people. Protecting your heart in the morning is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it in the right order. After 60, your body does not like suddenness. It doesn't like being yanked from sleep into motion. It doesn't like dehydration, stress, and stimulation all at once. Your heart wants a gentle landing into the day. And when you give it that, everything changes. You feel steadier, clearer, less shaky, less out of breath. Even your legs can feel lighter because better circulation helps your whole body, not just your chest. So, if you remember only one thing, remember this. Your first 10 minutes matter. They matter more than most people realize. Those few minutes can either calm your cardiovascular system or overload it. Wake up, breathe, sit, drink water. Move gently, then continue your morning. That simple sequence can become a kind of protection for your heart. Not perfect protection, of course, nothing is. But it lowers stress on the body at the exact time your body is most vulnerable, and that is very important. I also want to say something that could help someone watching this today. If you ever wake up with unusual chest pressure, a heavy feeling in the chest, pain going into the jaw, back, or left arm, sudden shortness of breath, cold sweating, dizziness, or a strange wave of weakness that feels different from normal fatigue, do not brush it off as just getting older. A lot of people do that. They say, I'll wait and see, or maybe I just slept wrong. Please don't gamble with that. Get medical help right away. When it comes to the heart, minutes matter. And the people who do best are usually the ones who act early, not the ones who try to tough it out. There's another emotional piece to this that nobody talks about enough. Many older adults are so used to pushing through discomfort that they stop listening to their body. You've spent years taking care of other people, getting things done, handling responsibilities, keeping the household moving. So in the morning, you rush automatically. You get up to feed the dog, start the coffee, make breakfast, check messages, head to the bathroom, maybe even start a load of laundry before your body's ready. But your heart is asking for something different now. Not laziness, not fear, just wisdom. Just a slower, smarter start. And that slower start is not weakness. It's strategy. It's maturity. It's understanding that the body at 70 deserves different care than the body at 40. That is not a loss. That is reality. And when you respect that reality, you often get more good years, more steady mornings, more safe walks through the neighborhood, more comfortable grocery store trips, more evenings on the porch, more time with the people you love. Sometimes the smallest changes protect the biggest things. So starting tomorrow morning, don't leap out of bed like your body is still 25. Don't let coffee be the first thing that hits your system. Don't force your heart to sprint before it can even stand. Give yourself one quiet minute, one glass of water, one gentle start. It sounds almost too simple, but simple habits repeated every day are often what save lives. And if this message made you think of a spouse, a brother, a sister, a parent, or a friend who jumps out of bed and runs on coffee alone, share it with them. Because sometimes the warning that changes a life is the one that arrives just one day in time.